So many women in business getting their heads around stuff to do with design that it is honestly slowing your business down so ridiculously much. Now, I've worked with hundreds of business owners in quite a close capacity, like not just sharing it to thousands of people on like YouTube, but actually working closely, coaching women in business, just everyday women trying to do the thing in the midst of life. And there are three things that I notice that come up super regularly when it comes to showing up online and creating graphics and all of these things. And so I want to speak to each of these three things today because I can teach you all the design strategy in the world, and I will. But if you don't have your brain sorted, your mindset sorted, then there is always going to be something missing. The same things are always going to come up that stop you from growing your business. And I want to speak to those today. So hi, if we haven't met before, my name is Jackie and I am a graphic designer who is obsessed with helping you as an everyday business owner use design, Canva, branding strategically to grow your business, not just to waste your time, not just to look pretty, but to actually grow your business in an incredible way. Not just, I just want to have a run my side hustle for a couple of years and then close it. I want you to go gangbusters. I want you to enjoy this. I want you to grow your business, support your family, whatever you're wanting to do. Design is going to play a huge part in that. But today, instead of teaching you actual design principles, I want to kind of call out some of the things that are probably going on in your mind that are stopping you, maybe even more so than actual design principles. And I've got a bonus. So I've got three things to share, and I've got a bonus one I'm going to throw in at the end that I think you're all going to resonate with. As a personal example for you, I have recently had a one-on-one call with my business coach, and we often just chat about like overall strategy, like how am I going to launch this program? How am I going to promote this? What am I going to do with the ads and blah, 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 blah. More often than not, it actually comes down to mindset. And so I've actually got a whole stack of Post-it notes on my bench literally right now because she shared with me some real mindset shifts that I need to implement before I keep on getting in my own way. I keep on wanting to show up, or I keep on wanting to share this offer, or I keep on wanting to have a more relaxed life instead of working 24/7. I don't work 24/7. That's impossible with 2 kids, but you get the picture. And she shared with me some really important mindset shifts that are actually going to be the thing that moves the needle for me rather than keeping on hustling and getting more cool business strategies. And so that's what I want to share with you today is some things that you might not think are important, but are actually probably going to shift things more for you than learning more design strategy or more business strategy. And so let's dive into those now, because your Canva designs can be bringing in cash flow, but if you're missing these things, then something's not going to click. All right, so the first of the three things I want to share, plus then a little bonus one, is, drumroll please, perfectionism. Everyone, not everyone, actually I don't get stuck in this, but a lot of my students get stuck in perfectionism. This is the idea that before I can show up, before I can post my design to social media, before I can press print on these business cards, before I can finalize my logo design, before I can publish my website, it needs to be perfect. Friend, I can't say this with enough emphasis. It will never be perfect. I hope that wasn't aggressive. It will never be perfect. There is honestly almost no such thing as perfect. And so when we keep on striving and convincing ourselves that we can find some perfect thing, we're going to stop actually showing up. Now, obviously, we want to make sure we do a good job. Like, you don't just want to put out rubbish, but there has to be a point where good enough is good enough. Okay, say it with me. Good enough is good enough. And that might not be in technically client delivery, like do your best when you're doing client delivery, but design and branding and your website and social media, good is good enough and you will improve. The designs that I started with 10 years ago, 15 years ago are rubbish now, but I improved as I went. I didn't improve by just sitting there and not doing anything. I improved because I kept on doing. I kept on putting things out, learning what didn't work, trying again, putting things out, seeing it a different way, and then putting it out, and just learning on the go, learning while doing. And if you just create a social media post but then never actually post it, you're never going to put it up there. This is a fun fact for you. This is totally irrelevant, not totally irrelevant. When I post a design, I see it differently than when it's just in my Canva. Even if I look at my design on my phone in my camera roll, it feels different when it's out in the world and it's actually published. I don't know what that phenomenon is. I'm sure it's got a name, but there is part of us that it feels different once we actually post it. So don't be afraid to make something good enough and then share it. Because if you're waiting, you're going to be stagnating your learning. You're going to be stagnating your growth, because I can tell you for 100% certain, if you post a post that looks pretty good, that is going to get you more traction in your business than not posting at all. If I do a post promoting my offer, that's more likely to get me a sale than if I never posted the post with the offer because I didn't think that font was 100% perfect. Okay. And so while I teach it in my programs, I work with you to make your designs better, and I want you to continue learning and growing and improving. The best way to improve is to put things out, to take yourself away from this need to be perfect. Because design is not like math. There is not one perfect answer result there waiting for you that you need to find. There is literally thousands of good and great options for that particular graphic, for your particular brand. It's more important that you do the groundwork that I teach, do your best job and post it. Put the logo out there, put the business out there, put the social media post out there, put the website out there, and then grow on it. So your next social media post is going to be better. Your next website edit is going to be better. Websites aren't stagnant things that never change. You're going to tweak that copy. You're going to be like, you know what? That color isn't as visible as I thought. Change the color. Or that text isn't big enough. Make it bigger. And while obviously branding can be a little bit more scary because you're like, oh, I can't just go and change my branding all the time. When you're newer in business, you can evolve it a little bit. And my brand, while my logo has stayed the same for the last 11 years, my tones of colors have tweaked a little bit. My different brand elements evolve over time. We're not stuck in this one place forever. You're not Coca-Cola. You're just a nice, beautiful, powerful small business. And the best way you're going to grow is to get off your butt and put it out there rather than stagnating in this needs to be perfect lie. This myth that you can actually find perfectionism, because most of the time you're not. I even look at posts I did yesterday and think, you know what? I should have done that differently. Great. I'll remember that for next time. Okay. Oh, and don't go back and delete old posts just because you don't think they're perfect. Rubbish. They can sit there as one, a visual of the journey that you've had. And two, that post, while it might not look 100%, can still help someone, can still draw in a customer. Okay. We don't have to have things perfect. Stop being perfect. Stop being perfect. Stop trying to be perfect. The next problem I see that is really holding you back in your business and in your brand and in your designs is comparison. Comparison gets me a lot more than perfectionism does. If I see another brand that is similar to me posting content, I just look at that and think, oh, that was such a good idea. I should have thought of that. Now I'm behind and I should have done it first. And now I'm not going to get as many clients because that person's already done it. Firstly, that's not true. There is enough room for nearly all of us, unless we all turned into if we all turned into travel agents, there's probably not enough there's probably going to be not enough clients. But if we were all there is enough graphic designers in the world that I can still have my piece of the pie. There is enough VAs in the world that you can still have your piece of the pie. There is enough most sorts of businesses that you don't have to worry about someone else stealing your business. You just have to worry about showing up and growing your piece of the pie. And so a lot of people see like an Instagram feed or a website or a brand and they think that looks so much better than mine. Why am I even bothering? Why should I even try? No one's going to work with me because mine sucks. Or they might see someone else and what they're doing and think I could never even get anywhere close to that. I'm not even going to bother trying. And that's probably kind of a little bit of perfectionism as well. But friends, you don't need to be like everyone else. You don't even need to be as good as everyone else because, for example, my feed might not be as curated as another graphic designer's, but that's okay because you know what? I'm going to call in the people that don't always love a curated feed. Or my Canva tutorials might be different to the other person's Canva tutorials. But just because they're different doesn't mean that mine's worse. I need you to actually remember that for yourself. Repeat that after me. Just because mine is different doesn't mean that it's worse. Okay, they might have had a really great idea for X, Y, or Z. That doesn't mean your different idea over here is worse. It just means it's different. And you might choose to be inspired by them and try something similar to that in the future. But that doesn't mean what you're doing now is bad. And if you see a really great graphic that you think that's amazing, don't get down on yourself and think, oh, I could never do anything like that. Or just because they've already done that, I can never do anything similar. We can be inspired by each other. Do not copy someone else. But you can be inspired by something that they've done, maybe a particular style of layout or a color they've used in their branding. You might choose a slightly similar color, not their whole color palette. Don't steal the whole color palette. And we can be inspired by other people. We don't create in a void. I create after I look at Pinterest, after I look at different Canva templates, after I scroll Instagram, because I can see what's out there in the world and I can be inspired by that. So when you see someone else doing a great job, choose to be inspired by that rather than feel like you're worse than them just because you're different. And if you still feel like that's tricky to do and listen to, my tip is I just don't follow anyone that's doing the same thing as me. I get comparisonitis really easily. And so if there is another Canva designer teacher person out there, I think, cool, that's great. I'm not going to follow you because I don't want to accidentally copy them. I don't want to compare myself to them. And I don't want to see what they're doing all the time and second guess my strategy because I'm on a different path to them. I've been running my business for 11 years and I'm targeting this kind of person. I've got these kind of high ticket programs. They might have been in business 2 years and they've got a different kind of program and a different kind of clientele. If I was just to look at their stuff and copy it, we're on totally different paths. I don't need to copy them. I need to be me. And so if I look at other people all the time, I get distracted on what my task is and I stop doing what's good for me and what's good for my audience and good for my business strategy and good for my family. I just start to copy and that doesn't suit me very well. So I choose not to follow those people. I've actually got a list where if I see someone who's doing the same thing as me, I just pop them on a list. So if I'm ever doing competitor research in the future or seeing what someone else is up to so I can be inspired, I can go intentionally have a look then. My brain switched into do not compare, Jackie, you're different. It's okay. Rather than seeing them all the time popping up in my feed, maybe when I'm having a bad day and then I compare when I'm having a bad day and then I just spiral. We don't want that. So feel free to unfollow or mute people that are in the same industry as you, doing very same things as you, or if you're more developed than I am, feel free to follow them. But just remember that thing of different doesn't always mean better. It just means different. All right. And that third one before I get onto the bonus mindset piece is fear of visibility. This is one I don't think I struggle with anymore, but I know a lot of my audience does. And that is a fear of kind of putting yourself out there. And this can look in multiple ways. This can be because you are unsure of what what your offer is and if it's going to help people, so you feel scared of showing up, or it's because you're not comfortable maybe in your own skin or comfortable with the graphics you're producing, and so you're feeling ashamed to put them out there. Now, I have told this story before, so you might have heard it, but back about maybe 8 years ago, I had a brand that was pink and white. It was like a hot pink and white, and I'm not a pink girl, and so whenever I shared my grid with anyone, like my Instagram, like I had someone ask me, what's your Instagram? And I would think, I don't want to share it with you because I'm embarrassed by it. I'm ashamed by it. This isn't me. I don't like it. It looks stupid. And it stopped me from showing up in my business. It stopped me from promoting my business. It stopped me from doing a lot of different things because I was ashamed of how it looked. And that's honestly probably one of the biggest reasons, not one of the biggest, but one of the big reasons students join me in my program is they're sick of being ashamed. They're not striving for this perfectionism level, but they are striving to have a professional, strategic business. And that's what I love to help people with. And so if you're feeling this fear of visibility, of like you're fearful of someone coming to your page, your website, or seeing your flyer because you're ashamed of it, there are two answers here. One is keep showing up because no one's judging you as harshly as you are. And if they are, they're not a great person, probably. Sorry if you're a judgy person. You are a fine person. I just would probably judge less. And secondly, upskill so that you can be more proud of your brand. So for me, that involved me learning about my brand and my audience better and learning about me better so I could create a brand that was more in line and authentic to me. And now when I'm showing up, I'm like, everyone come to my Instagram feed. It is the best. I'm so proud of it. And it's so much easier for me to promote my business from the rooftops because I'm proud of it and I'm not ashamed of it. And so if you've got that fear of visibility, firstly, upskill yourself, but also remember it's okay. And visibility is a muscle. Like, it is scary to show up the first time. It's scary to show up the first 10 times. It's scary to take a picture of yourself and put it online. It's scary to talk to your Instagram stories. It's scary to make a YouTube video, but it's a muscle. And the more that you do it, the less scary it is. I absolutely promise you that. And so feel free to record a few videos on your phone. Maybe never even publish them. Then maybe just take a random photo for your Instagram stories, knowing that it's going to be disappear in 24 hours and it's all gone. Then maybe do a 10-second video. Then maybe try a 30-second video. Then maybe pop up a video on as a reel instead of a story, and the reel is going to stay there for a long time. But is that a bit scary? Of course it is. But if you want to grow your business, one of the best ways to do that is to show up. And if you are wanting to grow your business, which I'm pretty sure you are, challenge yourself to show up. Move past that fear, stretch that muscle, and learn that when you put something out there, that maybe the whole world didn't collapse and you're still okay. And it's so much easier said than done sometimes, and I totally understand that. But take that first step, whether it's just taking a photo and putting it on your Instagram stories, knowing that it's going to be gone, or whether it's putting you on the last page of a carousel as a post, knowing that most people aren't going to swipe all the way there. So you're still kind of a little bit hidden, and just slowly stretch that muscle and knowing that by the time that you're confident enough to put yourself talking to the camera on a reel or putting yourself on the front page of a big post on Instagram, that's going to help you to show up more authentically. It's going to help your audience connect with you on a deeper level, and it's going to build that personal brand in a really powerful way. And that last mindset piece, that kind of bonus one I want to share with you is not feeling creative. So many business owners come to me like, oh, Jackie, I could never do my own graphics. I'm not creative. I'm not a creative type. I don't think creatively. I can't draw. I can't do this. I can't blah, blah, blah. Firstly, we're all creative, especially if you're a business owner. If you're a business owner, creativity is just thinking in a slightly different way. And as a business owner, we have so many problems to solve. We have such a different way we need to look at the world. So I want you to first dispel that myth that you aren't creative. You may be less visually creative, and that's okay. There are ways you can grow in this. In fact, in my course, I have a whole masterclass called the Creativity Mindset Masterclass, and that's a way for you to be able to switch on your creativity. But just some quick overall hacks. Firstly, don't design in a void. I've mentioned this already in this episode, but you don't have to look at a blank Canva screen and start from scratch. Firstly, we build out a brand. Like if you go through my course, you'll know that I step you through every single section to creating a beautiful, big, strong brand that makes designing easy and quick and seamless. Once you've got a brand, you don't actually have to, again, start from a blank Canva screen. You can either use Canva templates or do research on places like Pinterest. See what other people are doing in the world and channel them as inspiration, grab different bits and ideas and use that in your design. You don't have to just create from a void. We often make it harder for ourselves thinking that we need to be totally unique and totally different from everyone else. It's almost impossible because we are crafted by our culture. What I like visually is because I live in 2025. It's not because I live in the 1800s. I would like something totally different then because my culture is feeding into me what I should love. And so don't feel like you need to start from scratch. Build that brand out. Surround yourself with inspiration. And I give you lots of different search terms and stuff inside my program to know what kind of things to look for to find that inspiration. But in essence, I want you to remind yourself that firstly, you are creative, just might be less visually creative, but you don't actually need to be to create incredible graphics for your brand. I've seen people from all walks of life, all levels of creativity, create incredible branding and graphics because they utilize the tools that were available to them and they stopped telling themselves they weren't creative, because you can switch that on. You can learn to channel it. You can learn to use the tools you've got to bring that to life in you and your business. So I'm going to give you 3 little tips now to start applying this to your life. Firstly, I want you to remember that you can actually just communicate. Your goal, the goal of design isn't to impress people, isn't to be the most prettiest work of art. Your goal is to communicate. Design's purpose is to communicate. So take the pressure off of like, this needs to be amazing. Everyone's judging me on a design. Change that. and change that thinking to, I need to communicate. I need to communicate my value. I need to communicate what I need this post to be talking about. And then that takes the pressure off. Secondly, stop playing small visually. If you're having trouble showing up, show up. Be like, my offer is amazing. I've worked with X, Y, and Z client, or I've helped my friend before. I know I can help you too. Like, you wouldn't say those words, but I want you to be thinking those things of like, you don't have to be the best in the world to be able to show up. Remind yourself of the proof that you do have, that you are great, that you are passionate, and that you care for your clients, and then commit to showing up so you can share that and help more people. Because if you are playing small, if you don't want to show up, if you don't want to share your offer, if you don't want to share your face, that's not only doing a disservice to you, it's also doing a disservice for your client. Because if you're like the heart-led businesses that I work with, then they're not just in the business to get money. Getting money is a huge part, but it's also because they want to serve their audience, want to serve their customer or their client. And so if you actually have a heart to serve your customer or client, I want you to remember, you not showing up, you not posting, you not putting yourself out there is actually doing a disservice to them. Because if they don't know how great you are, they're never going to work with you, and they're never going to get the results of working with you. So just remember that too when you're feeling like, you know what, I just suck today. I don't want to post. I don't want to do this. Show up for your audience. Show up because you know that if you're showing up to them, they're more likely to work with you, and they're more likely to be helped because you are the right person to help them. And lastly, I want you to use consistency as training. Show up consistently and build that muscle. Showing up consistently helps you to build that muscle of showing up. It helps you to build the muscle of fighting perfectionism and actually just getting better by doing. And it helps you to hone that creativity muscle. These things, they come from the actual doing. Stop getting in your head and not doing anything. Do things imperfectly, and that's the best way to get things perfect later, even though I don't think perfect is real. So I want to remind you that your Canva designs aren't necessarily the things that are going to make you money. Building your skills to do them well is then going to help you to show up confidently and get them out into the world. And even showing up in the messy, showing up in the busyness, showing up in the imperfection, and that's going to help you to build sales. It's going to help you connect with your audience on an authentic level in a way that makes you feel confident showing up and in a way that stops you playing small. Best way to grow your business and to build an income and to build a successful business is to actually do those things. Is to get out of your head and challenge yourself to do the things while you're scared. That might be investing in a course, even though you're scared of investing in a course, investing in yourself, investing in learning design for your business so that you can then create better graphics that grow your business. Like some people, they don't want to invest in my course because they're scared of showing up. If they invest in a course that teaches them design, they're actually going to need to use those design skills to create things. And when they create things that are good, they're going to grow their business, and they're a little bit scared of that. A little bit scared of growing their business because it means more eyeballs are going to see them. It means they're more likely to get someone who's grumpy at them. It's more likely that they're going to put themselves out there and get in the public eye even more. And that can be scary, but don't let that fear stop you. Invest in yourself, show up imperfectly, and enjoy the process. So where are you currently designing your graphics from fear instead of leadership? Where are you currently holding yourself back instead of letting yourself really shine? I want to encourage you that this is something that you can change today. Maybe pick one little thought that might have stuck with you from this episode. Pop it as a post-it note on your computer somewhere, or on your laptop, or inside your Canva, or on your phone, or as a backdrop on your phone. Just remind yourself of this truth so that you can stop getting in your own way and start to really grow your business. If you're wanting to do some first steps into actually creating really incredible graphics to your brand so you can even show up more confidently, I have a design masterclass called Design Tools to 100K, and that's for business owners who are wanting to learn how to use Canva well, are wanting to learn the design mistakes they're making that are making things look amateur, and watch me actually designing graphics and learning how to do that in the proper kind of fast, interesting, professional way. Then this masterclass is 100% free, and you can join me and actually start designing graphics that you are proud of and you can show up confidently with, and then really are attracting your audience to help you make sales and show up. So just head to whitedeer.com.au/design masterclass, and I will see you there. Thank you for joining me for this episode. I hope you found it so inspiring and supportive. And if you have any requests for episodes, feel free to hit me up on my Instagram. My handle is whitedeergd, and I would love to hear from you. And I'd love to hear maybe your biggest takeaway from this episode too. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. If you're listening on podcast, make sure you hit follow or subscribe, whatever is necessary for you on that platform. And I will see you here next week, same time, same place. See you later.